She by Eleanor Hull. From the Book of Irish Poetry, Part 1. The white bloom of the blackthorn, she, the small sweet raspberry blossom, she, more fair the shy, rare glance of her eye than the wealth of the world to me. My heart's pulse, my secret she, the flower of the fragrant apple, she, a summer glow o'er the winter's snow, twixt Christmas and Easter, she. End of She.
Creed's Lament for Cail, from the Colloquy of the Ancients. Over thy chief, thy rushing chief, Loch loud the haven is roaring. All too late her deadly hate for Crimtha's son yonder deep is deploring. Small comfort, I trow, to Creed is her wail, slender solace now, O my Cail. Och hone, och wirrasthru, can she who slew bid thee back, spirit soaring? Hark! the thrush from out Drum Queen lifts his keen through the choir of the thrushes. With his mate, his screaming mate over the green, see, the red weasel rushes. Crushed on the crag lies Glensealan's doe, over her yon stag tells his woe. Thus, Cail, och, och hone, for thee my soul's sorrow gushes. O the thrush, the morning thrush, mating shall sing when the furze bloom is yellow. O the stag, the grieving stag in the spring with a fresh doe shall fallow. But love for me 'neath the ever moving mound of the scowling sea lieth drowned, while och, och, all agone the sea fowl moan and the sea beasts bellow. End of Creed's Lament for Cail. The Lament of Fand at parting from Cuchulain. From the sickbed of Cuchulain. 'Tis I who must renounce my love and go, lest conflict grow between thyself and me. Yet had I shared with thee Cuchulain's love, my joy had been above all jealousy. Nay, happier were it here for me to dwell, submitting well to thy supremacy, than thus depart unto my royal seat of Ard Abrat, strange though the thought to thee. The man is thine, Emmer, in this love strife. O noble wife, from me he breaks away, yet none the less I hunger for the bliss I now shall miss, and miss, and miss alway. Proud prince on prince has supplicated me in secrecy his passion's joy to share. With none of these have I a love tryst kept, but still have stepped stern minded past the snare. Joyless is she who gives a heart's whole meed to him who no full heed thereto returns. Better for her indeed in death to pass, than not be yearned for as for him she yearns. With 50 women dost thou hither fare, thou of the lustrous hair and lofty will, for Fan's overthrow? With all their tongues of scorn, is't well thy rival love forlorn to kill? 3 times of 50 women such as these attend my ease, wise, marriageable, fair. They wait me now within my royal brow, with pity's dew to calm my cruel care. End of The Lament of Fand at parting from Cuchulain.
Were You on the Mountain by Douglas Hyde. Oh, were you on the mountain, or saw you my love? Or saw you my own one, my queen and my dove? Or saw you the maiden with the step firm and free? And say, is she pining in sorrow like me? I was upon the mountain, and I saw there your love. I saw there your own one, your queen and your dove. I saw there the maiden with the step firm and free, and she was not pining in sorrow like thee. End of Were You on the Mountain
Pulse of my heart. As the sweet blackberry's modest bloom, fair flowering, greets the sight, or strawberries in their rich perfume, fragrance and bloom unite, so this fair plant of tender youth in outward charms can vie, and from within the soul of truth, soft beaming, fills her eye. Pulse of my heart, dear source of care, stolen sighs and love-breathed vows, sweeter than when through scented air gay bloom the apple boughs. With thee no day can winter seem, nor frost nor blast can chill. Thou, the soft breeze, the cheering beam that keeps its summer still. Charlotte Brooke. End of Pulse of my heart.
Two songs from the Irish. 1. The stars stand up in the air. The sun and the moon are gone. The strand of its waters is bare, and her sway is swept from the swan. The cuckoo was calling all day, hid in the branches above. How my Storeen is fled far away, 'tis my grief that I gave her my love. 3 things through love I see, sorrow and sin and death, and my mind reminding me that this doom I breathe with my breath. But sweeter than violin or lute is my love, and she left me behind. I wish that all music were mute, and I to all beauty were blind. She's more shapely than swan by the strand. She's more radiant than grass after dew. She's more fair than the stars where they stand. 'Tis my grief that her ever I knew. End of Two Songs from the Irish. 1. Two Songs from the Irish. 2. 'Tis a pity I'm not in England, or with one from Erin thither bound, or out in the midst of the ocean, where the thousands of ships are drowned. From wave to wave of the ocean, to be guided on with the wind and the rain, and O King, that thou mightst guide me back to my love again. End of Two Songs from the Irish. 2.
Pearl of the White Breast by George Petrie. From the Irish. There's a Colin fair as May, for a year and for a day I've sought by every way her heart to gain. There's no art of tongue or eye fond youth with maidens try, but I've tried with ceaseless sigh, yet tried in vain. If to France or far off Spain she'd cross the watery main, to see her face again the sea I'd brave. And if 'tis Heaven's decree that mine she may not be, may the Son of Mary me in mercy save. O thou blooming milk white dove, to whom I've given true love, do not ever thus reprove my constancy. There are maidens would be mine, with wealth in hand and kine, if my heart would but incline to turn from thee. But a kiss with welcome bland, and a touch of thy dear hand, are all that I demand, wouldst thou not spurn. For if not mine, dear girl, O snowy breasted pearl, may I never from the fair with life return. End of Pearl of the White Breast. The Outlaw of Loch Lene by Jeremiah Joseph Callanan. From the Irish. O many a day have I made good ale in the glen, that came not of stream or malt, like the brewing of men. My bed was the ground, my roof the greenwood above, and the wealth that I sought one far kind glance from my love. Alas, on that night when the horses I drove from the field, that I was not near from terror my angel to shield. She stretched forth her arms, her mantle she flung to the wind, and swam over Loch Lene her outlawed lover to find. Oh, would that a freezing, sleet-winged tempest did sweep, and I and my love were alone, far off on the deep! I'd ask not a ship or a bark or pinnace to save, with her hand round my waist I'd fear not the wind or the wave. 'Tis down by the lake, where the wild tree fringes its sides, the maid of my heart, my fair one of heaven resides. I think as at eve she wanders its mazes along, the birds go to sleep by the sweet wild twist of her song. End of The Outlaw of Loch Lene. Sean Du Deelish by Sir Samuel Ferguson. From the Irish. Put your head, darling, 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 your darling black head my heart above. O mouth of honey, with the thyme for fragrance, who with heart in breast could deny you love? O many and many a young girl for me is pining, letting her locks of gold to the cold wind free for me, the foremost of our gay young fellows, but I'd leave 100 pure love for thee. Then put your head, darling, 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 your darling black head my heart above. O mouth of honey, with the thyme for fragrance, who with heart in breast could deny you love? End of Sean Du Deelish.
The Flower of Nut Brown Maids by Eleanor Hull. From the Book of Irish Poetry, Part 1. From the 17th century Irish. If thou wilt come with me to the county of Leitrim, flower of nut brown maids, honey of bees, and mead to the beaker's brim, I'll offer thee, nut brown maid, where the pure air floats o'er the swinging boats of the strand, under the white topped wave that laves the edge of the sand. There without fear we will wander together, hand clasped in hand, flower of nut brown maids. My heart never gave you liking or love, said the flower of nut brown maids. Though sweet are your words, there's black famine above, said the flower of nut brown maids. With gentle words feed me when need and grim hunger come by. Better be free than with thee to the woodlands to fly. What gain to us both if together we famish and die? Wept the flower of nut brown maids. I saw her coming towards me o'er the face of the mountain, like a star glimmering through the mist. In the field of furze, where the slow cows were browsing, in pledge of our love we kissed. In the bend of the hedge where the tall trees play with the sun, I wrote her the lines that should bind us for ever in one. Had you a right to deny me the dues I had won, O flower of nut brown maids? My grief and my torment that thou art not here with me now, flower of nut brown maids. Alone, all alone, it matters not where or how, O flower of nut brown maids, on a slender bed, O little black head, strained close to thee, or a heap of hay until break of day, it were one to me, laughing in gladness and glee together, with none to see, my flower of nut brown maids. End of the Nut Brown Maids